Hello everyone, you can call me Opal, and I suck at Blender, but I'm getting better. Okay, so we have Toothless here, and I tried to make him grab the ball, kind of reach forward, and then pull it back. But the problem that I'm having is that if you'll notice, the ball changes its rotation in a way that I don't like. So watch it. So you go forward, he's pushing the ball forward, and then he pulls it back, and then the rotation changes, which I do like, but then right here, it changes the rotation again, and that is not what I want. Also, if there was ground here, it would go through the ground, and as you can see, if you look at the starting position of his foot and the ending position of his foot, they are in fact the same. So what he's doing, which I don't want, is that he's grabbing the ball and then he's pushing it into the ground, which, whoops, I should have created a ground for a reference. Yet another thing for trying to learn Blender. I will get there, but if we just hit play, he reaches forward, pushes it into the ground. Whoopsie. Not what I hoped for. So I'm gonna have to try to do this again from scratch. Let me get rid of the keyframes when it stops being good. So that's good rotation, good, wait, oh, right there. So if I get rid of the keyframes after this point, I can probably fix it. So now we have him reaching up, grabbing the ball. It's a little too fast though. You notice that? Way too fast. I always have that problem where it just goes too fast. Also, just for fun, we'll have a little peek at him in the render view. Look at him. He's so cute. Alright, still working on it. So a thought just randomly popped into my mind, and what if I used like a rigid body gravity thing? I'm still kind of messing with that a little bit. I learned about cloth and collision recently, but I still suck at that. But I made the ground. Don't ask why it's so wonky and weird. I tried to create a cube and then I smoothed it and then I grabbed the faces and it was stupid. I don't know. I should just have a flat ground, and now this has a bit of an angle, but it allows me, the angle allows me to see if the ball will roll away. It just, you know, because what if he grabs it and he moves his foot and then it'll interact with it after. So I need collision on this one, and I need collision on this, but I also need rigid body. So how you do, I forget all the things, because if I go to the ground, it has this one, which is on physics page. So I need to grab the object physics, but there's only these two options, which is, oh, it's because it's a meta ball. Man, I should not have used a meta ball for this. Okay, rigid body, maybe. No, I might have to start over from scratch entirely if this is a meta ball. I thought the meta ball would be cute because I didn't understand, because I thought you could like easily squish a meta ball, but you cannot easily squish a meta ball. You can't use shape keys unless you use nodes, and I have not learned about nodes that much apart from just changing an image, so no. Okay, you know what? Let's just get rid of the ball entirely. Ball is gone, and Toothless no longer has a ball. We're just gonna have to deal with that. But if I create an icosphere and then I smooth it out, I should be able to create another ball, and then I can have Toothless play with the ball but have physics. That's a good plan. That's a good plan. So let's start. Actually, I want to give the ground something that's not white. Can we do that? Can we just maybe darken it a bit? I learned about Shift A, which is a nice shortcut to add stuff. Let's do not a meta ball. Let's do just a regular old icosphere. And then we're gonna have to, well, I don't know why it makes it so big every time. We're gonna hit S, make it smaller, hit G, move it around. I always get annoyed with trying to move stuff when it comes to Blender. It's just so unfathomably annoying. Anyway, for this animation that I want to do, I have a couple things in mind. First, I want to have him kind of have a ball and then play with the ball. Maybe I'll add another dragon in there. And then I want him to eat the ball. And then later on, not either in this animation or another one, I want him to be able to maybe find a fish and eat it or something. I don't know. Let's focus on this ball. So first we want to smooth the ball. If we smooth the ball, it looks nicer. And then I'll add a material because why not? And then I had it have a checkered texture before, so let's do that again. Change the scaling to something reasonable like that. That's good. That's good for a ball. I know it doesn't look that great, but it's a start. So now we have the ball. And now I can go to the physics tab, and now all the options show up because it's not a meta ball. So now I want to add rigid body and collision, I think. Now if I hit play, oh, okay, well that's a problem. Okay, the ground is supposed to have collision. Let's turn it off and on again, maybe. No. Okay, that's upsetting. That's very upsetting. Okay, mass. How much the object weighs. Permeability. Man, I used to be able to just set up a ground no problem. Like, I had the animation I did with the cloth and the other dragon that worked, but I always forget stuff. How do you do this? Give me a minute, I'll look this up. I believe I have partially figured out how to make this work. I actually probably spent almost 8 minutes trying to figure out what part of the armature controls opening his mouth, which was extremely annoying. But either way, we're going to start with him already having the ball in his mouth. Just makes it so much easier. And I just want to double check about the opening and closing of his mouth, because the way this armature is set up, it's really weird. So I think it's this. Wait, I have to put it in pose mode. This right here. No? No, come on, you piece of junk. Was it these two, I think? No, that just rotates the head. Come on, you piece of junk. This is the problem when you don't make your... Whoa, that just rotates the head. Hello. That's the problem when you don't make your own armature. You just use somebody else's. You never know what kind of weird stuff you're... There it is. Okay, this one. This one right here. Just remember it's where the upper... This... I don't know. Now it's lost. Oh no, I got it. Okay, now that just tilts it weird. I don't want to cause you guys nightmares, but too late, I guess. Okay. Let's go to local rotation. There we go. That's a more reasonable way to do that. Okay. So we're gonna have him very gently open his mouth, and then the ball should fall out if I set up the rigid body properly. I actually was looking over the footage just now of the previous part of this video, and I realized that if I click on the ball, the rigid body was not selected, as it is not now. Or is it? I don't know. If I hit play, the ball's not going anywhere. But then if I take the ball and I add rigid body, now it goes straight through. So that's not probably going to be something that happens. But we're not going to worry about that. You're not going to worry about that too much. Just don't even worry about it. Just going to do it the old-fashioned way, which is to not have that. Yet, why is it still having things wrong with it? Okay, fixed it. We're just back to square one with no modifiers. Let's just have him move his head with the ball in his mouth to start. Oh! If I remember, there's a thing you can do where you parent an object. So I think I click on is it the armature? And then I shift click on the ball, and then I hit Control P, which I do object. Theoretically, that's what we do. And then if I take the armature, oh no, now the ball is the parent. I think I did that in reverse, didn't I? Okay, now we're good. So now I can move the ball, but if I move the dragon, the ball moves with the dragon. Okay, I fixed it. I just got it backwards. We're good. So now if I have him rotate his head, the ball should go with it. I've never actually done this in any of my animations before. So let's hope that that works. I just gotta remember where to grab. That's the side of him. There we go. That rotates it. I wonder what the whole head. No, that's weird. Come on, you piece of junk. And maybe it's back out here. Okay. So that's up and down. Can I rotate it side to side? Yes, I can. Whoa, but the ball doesn't go with it. Why doesn't the ball go with it? I don't understand. Is it because it's in pose mode? Because that could be a reason, which undoes everything I'm trying to do. Okay, let's just start. We have her keyframe for everything, and then how long should it take? Maybe like 1 or 2 seconds to turn his head. So I'll grab back of the throat, and then we'll go 50. No, let's go 75. That's like 3 seconds. And then we'll do not that way, not that way, not that way, other way, you dingus. Let's do global. Maybe that'll fix it. There, we want it sideways. So turn it maybe like there. And then object mode. And then the ball should also go there. I hope. I always forget to keyframe things. Pose. Okay, how does that look? So oh no, the ball moves, but then he's not moving. How did that happen? That's weird. That's really weird. Okay. There. No, I don't want that. Nope. No, I don't want to hit all of them. I just want this one piece. Oh, you're so annoying. Grab this. Grab this. And then rotate. Okay. So zoomed in more than I wanted, so make sure it's still on the center of his tongue. There. Okay, it looks like it's mostly staying in the same spot. It's pretty good. But how fast is that? Going slow. Sometimes it's slower in the editor. But that's maybe too slow. Also, the ball isn't like pressed up against the roof of his mouth entirely, is it? It's kind of hard to tell. I think it's believable enough. You want to go in? I don't think he has anything inside him, really. I think he's just a regular kind of hollow thing, which is disappointing, but you know, not everyone wants to make an entire digestive tract for a model. That's okay. So we have the head rotation. So instead of 3 seconds, let's do maybe 1.5 or 2. So let's move this to 50. And then I have to make this one also be 350. Did I mess up already? Yeah. So I messed that up. So if I hit A, it's 50. Now the ball, go to object mode. And then move that to 50, and then that should sync up again. Moving it kinda, yeah, not bad. It kinda scooches over a little, but I think it's not too bad. How does that look? Moving slowly. Not bad, not bad. So he's moving his head. If I hit this version, I don't like how the eyes get really weird. Okay, if I get rid of this, it should show me the real speed. Okay, that's slow. That's slow. Okay, what I'd like to do, if I can, is I'd like to copy the frames and then I flip them, right? So paste flipped, and then he'll go back over, but I have to do that with the object as well. So the ball. And so it goes this way, and then he goes back. So where's the final frame where he's done? Right there. So right there. Square. Paste. No, that's okay. That's weird. Goes this way. Goes this way. That's really weird. Get rid of that keyframe. Copy that keyframe. Goes there. 1, 2. Okay, maybe right there. Paste it. See, is its head just going back too far? Maybe I'll have to do it manually. Just move you back over. Get rid of that one. Okay, how's that looking? He moves over. And he goes back. Great. Great, great, great. And that's kind of a boring motion, but it's a start. I'd love to have him, like, move his tongue or something, have the ball roll around in his mouth a little bit. That would be good. Okay, let's start with a little bit of tongue stuff. This one holds his tongue, right? Yep, there it does. Why is that grabbing that part? This armature is so weird. I always like to have at least the small layer. Let's see that. So it goes back and forth. That's great. So the ball does move, but I can add a bit of tongue motion to make it believable that it's moving like that. Okay, let's go this way. And then we're gonna get a little bit fancy. And if I can get even a small... Nope. If I can get even a small part of the tongue to change... No, that's the head. Come on. Oh, that just closes the mouth. I don't know why it's, like, so weird, this armature. It's, like, really, really difficult to work with, or I'm just dumb. Okay, that rotates it up. Maybe we could do that after. So let's say he moves his head this way, and then we'll add up to here, and while I still have it selected, I can rotate it up, move him up a bit, and then I gotta move the ball back to object mode, G, up, maybe roll a little. How does that look? Goes before he tilts, that's not good. Let's add a keyframe right here. And get rid of this keyframe. So this goes this way, and then... Oh, he jumps a little. Did you see that? It goes up a little. Right there. Right there. Let's get you just a little bit here. Move it this way. Right there. It goes here, rolls, and then he goes up. And it goes down. Okay. How does that look? Okay, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Let's take it a little bit further. How does that look in camera? Okay, you know what? That's not bad. That's doable. I don't know why there's a double shadow there. I think it has something to do with the way I set up the lighting. I could fix that. Alright. That's doable. Well, that's about as much time as I'll waste of your time today, but thank you for checking out my process of me trying to learn how to do Blender for this upcoming animation. I actually really like it, to be honest. I like showing my process. I like kind of learning along the way. You know, everyone in the comments, the few of you that are here, are very, very supportive, and I appreciate that. I'm just trying to learn, make some silly videos where things get eaten, and have fun. So, I'll talk to you later. And next video will be whatever I make with our boy here.